Hello. You're on holiday.
Yes, I'm in a hotel. And I have to check out. But I almost never speak in this forum,
I
but
know.
it just happened now. I was listening to Jeremy. It happened during Jeremy talking to you. All of a sudden, the voices and the images and the meaning all disconnected. They were on three separate tracks. So I saw the picture of some mouth moving. And then I heard some blah, blah, blah sound. And then the meaning, it was like I was editing a video and they were on
Yeah,
three separate tracks and I hit mute. And it's still happening. It's like the mouth is not connected to the meaning anymore.
there you go. Six feather falling.
And I wrote you before, I was investigating this, like, am I hearing the thought or am I hearing the sound? Am I hearing the thought I have about this? And then you started before by saying, listen to your mother as if she's speaking Chinese. And I tried during, the holiday to be listening to her because her mouth was moving and all this stuff that was upsetting was coming out. But I was trying to hear it as Chinese or nonsensical, as just
Yeah,
sound.
yeah.
And I wasn't successful then, but all of a sudden it just happened. It,
Yes.
it just happened. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Those have
Yeah.
no connection whatsoever.
None. There's absolutely no connection whatsoever. Again, now you can help me with the English word I'm looking for. When I want to say commendable, something that is really well
Uh,
done? Something that
it's
I'm really
admirable, or my word finding right now is shit.
You're not the right person. The one that is sitting over there and
I
completely the
was
salt.
I was an English major. I used to have all the words, but I don't have them anymore.
No,
They're
but
gone down the waste. Somebody else should interject. I don't know.
yeah, somebody that speaks English could interject and tell me what word I'm looking for here. But what I mean is I've really,
Admirable work.
is it commendable?
Commendable,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you. Thank
Commendable
you
is
so much, Leah.
it's very formal though. It's a formal.
But let's keep it like that. I'm fine. Formal is fine. I look good in a suit. We can keep it like that. Just want to point out, because when you and I spoke and I talked about you with when you were going to meet with your mom for the holidays, and notice that when she normally says something that triggers, then you could act as if she was speaking Chinese and putting your mind into that. That planted a little seed. And what happened was that you having that little seed and exercising with it, and it didn't work, didn't work, didn't work, didn't work. Then all of a sudden, when your attention is not on it, you're not working with it, you're not aware of it, you're not noticing it at all, and a little sprout comes up from the soil. And suddenly Jeremy and I are just two pictures and words are happening, and the soundtrack and the visual, it's just not connected. And that is why in a lot of cases, I'm speaking to all of you now, that is why in a lot of cases, then watching these recordings and listening to the inquiries, it is planting a little seed in you. If you're diligent with it in the way where you're not forceful, but you're allowing to let it happen. You're not making it happen, but you're allowing it to let it happen. So you just plant a little seed and leave it. Then exactly what Leela just experienced, where it suddenly just happens. And it's why all the awakening stories, when you hear about people that have experienced awakening and have become awake, they were doing dishes, or they were driving on the freeway, or they were, walking in the forest, or in Tesco, or whatever. None of them were sitting on a mountaintop in deep meditation, because it's not where it happens. When we work with the feathers, the way that we work with them, when we work with it, this is practical application. This is how you take a little seed and you plant it, make sure you water it, but otherwise leave it alone. You don't need to stand like a cheerleader on the little seed. It will happen all on its own. Thank you so much, my love.
But of
Thank you.
course, the way I am, the doing, not the being, wanted to report it to you now because I wanted you to tell me now what's next. Like, because you kept saying, okay, but what about the person what about the idea that there's someone even hearing anything at all, right? So that distance between, so I
Follow it.
feel like I have to, the minute something falls, I've got to like immediately jump on the next, but
Yes.
uh,
When you do that, you go from reality in now into your head and think that the frontal lobe and the ego goes up with the sleeves, clench the button and the bum and the jaw, and now we are doing our way out of this. Now we are really harvesting here. You know, it's not happening. You're becoming forceful and you're trying to make it happen, and it's like grasping water. You know, it's just not gonna happen. You need to hold it lightly. You know, you really need to hold it lightly. So the next thing I will recommend you to do is follow the sensation when you hear a sound, follow it into that part that is receiving, and slow down, and then see when the grasping is happening as an I is hearing. Who is that is grasping? You know, what is that part that is grasping for a sound to place it into a knowledge base? What knowledge base is that? What is the knowledge base actually? And the same when you see something, that there's a grasping and a pulling in, where is that actually happening? Because that is where a sensory experience is happening, and the ego is the survival mechanism of the meat suit, the driver behind the seat, or whatever you want to call it. That is the one that is putting things in the right sequence. If you make him unemployed and just notice the sensory experience happening, then you will start to see that there's a space, and that space can expand and expand and expand and expand. And that is where what we talked about, the seventh feather, that is becomes vertical. That is all that there is. And any movement is just happening on its own without anybody in the driver's seat. It's just movement towards the fridge to get something to eat, or movement towards the toilet, or movement towards sleep, or movement towards, with the ninth feather. So the interesting part is when your right side start to do, you know what we talked about, that I really, really want you to focus on the left side, where it's just that experience, and you can caress the left side if you need to, that it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. What do you experience over here on this side here? And that is where the union, exactly, and that is where the union of the two is happening.
yeah, I think that right do, like take a hold of it and be very forceful has aborted so many early awakening impulses that have happened over the years because
It becomes so cerebral,
yeah,
and we're missing the point. We're missing the point. It's slipping through our fingers when we're not in the body and not experiencing in the body. The awakening needs to be experienced in the body, otherwise it's just cerebral, and it's nothing but the frontal lobe sitting and playing clever.
yeah, because there's such a tendency, not just with me, I hear it with a lot of people. It's like the minute that soundtrack's disconnected, I was like, oh. And then it was like frozen for a while, and then it was like, what is this? What does this mean? What is it about? Blah 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 blah, blah, trying to grab it, trying to.
But yeah, I know that that is what is happening, but I have like this suspicion. I obviously don't know if it's true for everyone, but I have this suspicion that it's a part of a ego survival mechanism, that the ego is beginning to dissolve and become aware that the seat that I believe that I have, I'm now beginning to see that I don't. And therefore it's trying to get back into the seat where there's a control. What's next? What is the exercise I should do? What does this mean? All of that, where we go back into the head instead of staying in the body, where the experiences are just unfolding. um
Yeah,
like I spoke with Janine about, that it's just that the what's next is impossible to answer, because it's a now and a now and a now.
So when you say that, it brings up the terror of the free fall, that staying in the body is
Mm,
it's
exactly.
terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have this idea that we're going to dissolve and there won't be anyone, and that is something dangerous, or something that we need to control ourselves out of. But it's just a delusion. There was never anyone. Nothing is different. Nothing. It's not like something was there, now it's not. It was never there. It was never there.
Like what just happened is the fan on my computer is loud now because the computer's been working, and it was just as meaningful as what you said. I was like, what was she saying? Oh, it's the fan. It's the fan telling me what I should know.
Yeah, exactly. The fan is telling you what to do next. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. Love you so much. Enjoy your holiday.